Well, once again, we're here at the National Monument to the Forefathers. It is a monument placed here by a past generation as a message to future generations, and it tells the story of the foundation of our nation at its origin, at its inception, that it was truly built on a biblical foundation. It's a monument to the forefathers, the pilgrims who came here as religious refugees to found a new civilization where people would truly be free. And we're reminded here that hope is not in us, that hope is in Him. Notice on top of this 81-foot monument that's 81 feet high is Lady Faith. Faith has her finger pointed to the God of heaven, a reminder to future generations that our hope is in Him, it's not in us. Now I want you to remind you of something here, that she's surrounded by four allegorical figures. And these figures represent the four legs of society, the four pillars of a civilization that would truly be free. You have morality, you have law, you have education, and you have liberty, the four legs of civilization. Behind me is education. I want you to see a little bit about education. First of all, she's a young lady, she's a young woman. She, in fact, is a young mother. And like morality, I want you to notice her pupils are not looking out. Her pupils are looking in, because she recognizes that education must begin with her when it comes to educating her children. Education is not the responsibility of another. It doesn't begin in the schoolhouse, it begins in her house. And I want you to notice what this young mother is holding as she's preparing to educate her children. I don't believe that's a math book. Once again, it's the Bible. And what she's saying is she wants her children to learn reading and writing and arithmetic, but more than anything, she wants to teach her children who God is and who they are, so that they have a biblical view of the world. And I want you to see on two sides of her, like the other allegorical figures, there are additional figures that tell more of the story. And remember, this is the story that past generations set in granite, literally, as a monument of the past, but a message to the future. It's a reminder to future generations, our generation, that education must begin first in the home. I want you to notice there's a young mother, and her name is Youth, because she's holding the hand of her child. And it's a picture that all of us as moms and dads must take personal responsibility for teaching our children. It's not somebody else's job. It's not something somebody else can do. What children learn the earliest is what they believe the longest. It's what will run the deepest. It's what will shape them clear into their adulthood years. And so this is why anywhere children are is the battleground, because everybody knows whoever owns and shapes the hearts and minds of children are the ones that shape future generations and future civilization. That's why today education is a battleground. And whether or not you choose to send your kids to public school, you must choose to do a little home education like this young mother. And on the other side of this young mother that's educating her children, I want you to see you have wisdom. Notice wisdom is an older gentleman. He's an older man, because there's a difference between giving someone knowledge and sharing with them information. No, wisdom is something altogether different. Wisdom comes from years and years of experience. This older man is recognizing he also has a responsibility to educate the younger generation. Presumably, he is the grandpa of this young mother's children, and she is turning to her own father to help raise up and train up her children. And that's what she's doing. Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go. And it's not just her responsibility, but it's the previous generations to reach that younger generation. And I want you to notice next to wisdom, you have again an open Bible, because that's the theme of a people who are free, a people of faith. They have a biblical worldview, a biblical understanding of the world. Next to the Bible, you see the Ten Commandments. This older gentleman is teaching the younger generation God's standard for living. And I want you to notice on the other side of him is a picture of the globe. Yes, it's a picture of the world, because he's giving his grandchildren a biblical worldview. And that's the source of true wisdom. You know, the Bible says in more than one place that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And He's giving His grandchildren the fear of the Lord, teaching them to surrender themselves completely to a higher authority. And it's not them. He's teaching them to see what God sees, to follow the God of heaven. That is true wisdom. And at such a time as this, we don't lack for knowledge in our world today. There's more information available today than at any other time in history. But what we lack is wisdom. You see, that is the reason this mother is taking personal responsibility for the education of her children.